The Mystery Thunderbird. Part 5. The words refuse to leave the protagonist's mind. Strength is not enough. You must choose. They echo with every step, every breath, like a heartbeat that no longer belongs to them but to something far greater. Passing the storm had not been the end, was merely the doorway. Now, the Thunderbird demands something far more difficult, a choice. But what choice? That question gnaws at the protagonist's soul. As dawn breaks, they walk back toward their village, soaked and weary. Their body trembles, but not from the storm, it trembles from the weight of the unknown. What sacrifice will be required of them, and why them, when they never asked for this path? Back in the village, unease stirs. People have felt the storm. They whisper about omens, about thunder that spoke and lightning that danced in cymbals. Some fear the Thunderbird's return. Others hope it brings salvation. And in the middle of it all stands the protagonist, carrying a burden they cannot explain, a secret they cannot fully share. That night, they meet with the elder once again, by the fire's glow. The elder tells them the truth, long hidden in the tribe's oldest stories. The Thunderbird does not appear by chance. It comes when the balance of the world is broken, when greed, violence, or forgetfulness of the old ways poisons the land. The Thunderbird chooses someone not for their strength, but for their willingness to carry the weight of others. The choice it demands is never small. It is a choice between the self and the many. The protagonist feels a chill run through their veins, because deep down they already sense what is coming. They will have to decide whether to give up something precious, perhaps their freedom, perhaps their life, in order to protect their people. But destiny doesn't allow time for quiet reflection. The very next day, a threat emerges, not from the sky, but from the earth. A group of outsiders, hunters, greedy and ruthless, arrives at the edge of the valley. They seek to strip the land, to tear through the forest and river in search of wealth. To them, the land is nothing more than a resource. To the tribe, it is sacred, living, tied to the Thunderbird itself. Conflict brews. The elders warn the protagonist. This is part of the choice. To protect the Thunderbird's gift, they must stand against those who would defile it. But to do so would mean risk of violence, risk of loss. The protagonist feels torn in two. On one side lies their people, their heritage, the very soul of the land. On the other lies their own fear, their desire to walk away, to live quietly without the burden of destiny. The Thunderbird's words return. You must choose. That night, sleep brings another vision. The Thunderbird soars above a burning forest, its wings blackened with ash. Beneath it, the rivers run dry, the mountains crack open, and the voices of ancestors cry out in pain. The vision is unbearable, and when the protagonist awakens, they know this is no longer about them. It is about everyone. The following day, the hunters begin their work. Trees fall. The sound of axes rings out like cruel laughter. Animals scatter in fear. The villagers look to the protagonist, silent but expectant, and in that silence, the choice becomes clear. They step forward, with trembling hands but a steady heart. The protagonist confronts the outsider. Their voice is not loud, but it carries the weight of the storm. This land is not yours to take. Leave nor face the Thunderbird, the hunter's love, dismissing it as superstition. But as if to answer, thunder rolls across the clear sky. Lightning flashes, not miles away, but directly above, crackling like fire across the heavens. The ground trembles, and for the first time, the hunter's bravado falters. The protagonist feels the Thunderbird's presence surge through them, filling them with both courage and sorrow. They realize the cost of this path. By standing against the hunters, they have chosen their people, their land, their ancestors, but they have also marked themselves as forever bound to the Thunderbird's will. The confrontation escalates. Fear spreads among the hunters, but pride drives them to resist. They prepare to fight, and for a moment, bloodshed seems inevitable. But before the first blow can fall, a storm erupts out of nowhere. Rain lashes the earth. Lightning strikes dangerously close. The Thunderbird descends in a fury of wind and thunder, its wings blotting out the sun. The hunters scatter in terror, fleeing into the wilderness, leaving behind their tools and their arrogance. The land breathes again, safe for now. But the protagonist does not celebrate. Instead, they fall to their knees, overwhelmed by what has just happened. They had called upon the Thunderbird, and it had answered. The power is real, but so is the cost. Because once you call upon such power, it does not release you, it binds you. As the storm fades, the Thunderbird's massive form lowers from the sky. Its eyes lock onto the protagonist, blazing with fire and judgment. You have chosen, it says, its voice like rolling thunder, but the greatest choice still lies ahead. And with those words, the Thunderbird vanishes into the clouds, leaving the protagonist trembling in the rain, heart pounding with dread. What greater choice could there be? What sacrifice could be more difficult than the one they have already made? The answer waits in the distance, in the storm that even now begins to form on the horizon.